Hey guys, John Hennessey here today at our factory in Sealy, Texas, and I'm with a very special car that's special to me, our family, and our company. As you may know, the Hennessey Venom GT. This is a car that, it's a long story, but had the idea of the Venom GT around 2007, taking basically a Lotus Elise or Lotus Exige and taking everything in front of the dash and redoing it, and everything from behind the seat, so the bulkhead and back, redoing it, lengthening the car about 2 feet. That's about a foot wider. Actually, the original Venom GT concept in 2007 was basically taking our twin-turbo Venom 1000 Viper engine, the V10, and putting it in the back of this car. That was kind of the crazy idea of it. As the car started moving towards reality, I thought it would be easier to package a small block Chevy. Basically, the engine that I really liked at the time, I still love the sound and the performance of, is a C6 ZR1 Corvette. And so migrated from the Viper engine to the LS9 that came in the C6 ZR1. And so when the Venom GT, again, was just kind of an idea and a concept, I'm thinking, okay, we can take that engine and push it to 725 horsepower with a few simple modifications. But as time went on, of course, we wanted more horsepower. I'm like, well, let's just do a twin turbo iteration of that particular engine. This particular car, this is the third Venom GT that we built. First car was our XP car, was a prototype. It was matte black. The first production series car was silver, went to a family in the Middle East. And then this is the car that we built for a good customer, guy that I built a twin turbo Viper for that lived in Bulgaria. And anyway, fast forward to now, well, what does this have to do with today? Well, this particular Venom GT came up for sale at the Broad Arrow auction back in August, and something that I'd always wanted to have a Venom GT in our collection, our family collection. Again, we only built a dozen of these cars. This is the only car that, by the way, that has the original LS9 engine in it. So the other 11 Venom GTs are all twin turbo V8s. This is the only supercharged LS9, so a little bit less powerful, but still, car only weighs 2,700 pounds and has 725 horsepower. So anyway, make a long story short, we went out to Car Week, have a big display there that we do with our Venom F5s. We introduced our Venom F5 Revolution LF, part of our Maverick division. The first manual F5, we introduced that. And so while we're there, the kind of the kickoff of the Monterey Car Week is there's a big party at the Jet Center at the private FBO at the airport there called Motorlux, which is a Hagerty event. Really fun event. If you go to Car Week, you should definitely check it out. And as part of that, they Broad Arrow, which is also owned by Hagerty, had their auction. And so showed up with my family. I'm not going to say what I was prepared to pay for the car, but it was probably a little bit more than the all-in after hammer price with buyer premium was $588,000. Felt like it was a pretty good value. So, what are we going to do with this particular car? Well, for a while, I think we're just going to leave it the way it is. Pretty good shape, needs a few updates, needs a little bit of TLC. But I think at some point, we would like to put our Venom F5 engine in this particular car. So with the Evo update, so 2,031 horsepower, 3 times the power. Don't have time for that right now. We're very, very busy building F5s. And so anyway, very excited about having the car back in the family fleet. I'm gonna drive it. We'll do a driving impression video with it, but it needs a little bit of TLC coming back to the factory, but we'll drive it again soon. And there'll be another video on that. A couple other things I wanted to touch on real quick. A few weeks ago, we announced the expansion of not just our campus here in Sealy, Texas, but of our business. So we've been very fortunate over the last almost 35 years of modifying vehicles for enthusiasts like yourself to be able to really grow our business. And we had an opportunity with all of the major U.S. manufacturers, so General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, where now they're able to inventory vehicles on our property that we're able to sell through dealers. So our volume over the last couple of years, we built about 550 vehicles in 2023 and 2024. This year we'll build about 900 vehicles. Again, a lot of those are Ford. We're doing a lot of work with Ford these days and have a lot of Ford dealers. And that just continues to grow. So next year we're anticipating the ability to produce somewhere between 1,300 and 1,500 vehicles. We're talking about Velociraptor 1000 Raptor R or Velociraptor 600 Ford Raptor EcoBoost V6, Bronco Raptors, Venom 800 supercharged pickup trucks, both lifted and lowered. We're doing a fair amount with GMC Denali's and the Chevy Tahoes that were 600 to 700 horsepower, and also the Chevy Silverado trucks and GMC Sierra Denali trucks as well. So that growth, that volume, we're adding another 48,000 square feet of manufacturing space across the parking lot, and we're already planning another building to go in addition to that to help support Hennessey Special Vehicles and future vehicles that will come after the Venom F5. So there's a lot of growth here at the company. I was telling a friend of mine over breakfast this morning that 10 years ago, so 2015, 2016, we had around 16 employees and maybe built, I don't know, we probably built 60 vehicles that year. And so here we are, we now have 131 employees. And I think next year when we have the additional space, we'll end next year with probably 200 employees. So we've really grown a lot. And again, that is a friend of mine, a very successful oil and gas guy from here in Houston, as he said about his business, it's a 35-year overnight success story. But we couldn't have done this without you, our fans, our customers, our great employees, partners, people from Shell Pennzoil, been a massive help to us. And so my wife, when I bought the racetrack out here 20-something years ago, we were kind of at a crossroads with our house. We had 5 little kids and kind of an old worn out house. And I had barely scraped together the money to remodel the kitchen. And then one day we were going to San Antonio to test a car at the drag strip over there. And we drove right past this property. And one of the technicians who was working for me at the time says, "Hey, I think that drag strip's up for sale." So got a hold of the owner, ended up making a deal. I went back to my wife, I said, "Honey, I've got this opportunity to buy this land out west of Houston, out in Sealy, where there's this little racetrack. And I think if we buy the racetrack, then maybe someday we could build our shop." It wasn't a factory back then. We could put our shop out here. That was always kind of the dream. And so I basically went to her and said, "Hey, do you mind if I take the money for the kitchen remodel and use that towards buying this racetrack?" At which point she reluctantly but graciously said, "Yes, let's do that." She thought that would be a good investment, and it has been. So again, we're excited to continue to share kind of our story with y'all. And again, looking at this car just brings back a lot of emotion. But I'm very, very excited about the future of our company, our brand, and we would not be here again without our dealers, our clients, the people that have believed in us, people that believed in my crazy little sketch that I'm at the SEMA show in 2007, talking to Mike Spinelli from Jalopnik, who says, "Hey, Hennessey, what's new?" I'm like, "Hey, I got this Venom GT concept car." And several years later, I didn't know how, but we were able to make it come true. Venom F5, very, very similar story, but at a greater scale. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for believing in us, and we'll look forward to continuing to share the journey together. Thank you.